Folks, Dan Frio here with your market close for March 8th, 2025. So today, I'm going to say this, and I don't really, what the hell just happened? We had mortgage rates. Everything was going in a positive direction. We had MBSs right through here. We had mortgage rates. They were coming, prices were going up, rates were coming down. And then at 1 o'clock, well, same thing over here. We had the Dow Jones up 1,400 points. It ended the day down 300 points. What happened? It's tariffs once again. But to get a real insight of all this stuff, I can't find a better thing to show you guys other than right through here. This is Rick Santelli. I love this guy. He actually just lives north of me, the next town up. He has the greatest take on all this stuff. And why we watch Rick is because he's at the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. He talks bonds. Okay, why do we follow that? Well, bonds are basically what control the mortgage industry. Okay, this is a bond. This is a mortgage-backed security bond that is basically determines your interest rate. So how you follow this is when this number goes up, rates come down. There's an inverse relationship. This is crazy, folks. So let's look at a 2-day chart of this. This is kind of uncharted territories. Interest rates moved about 0.5% from basically Friday's close to today's close. So what's going on? Well, it's all about bonds and tariffs once again. So let's get over to Rick Santelli at the CME Fed or see what he's taken on the bond yields. And when we come back, I'm going to revise my short-term, mid-term, and long-term outlook. And we're going to talk a little bit more about mortgage rates. So just so you guys know who I am, what do I do? My name is Dan Frio, and our slogan here is one application, one credit pool. We're going to shop your loan to over 30 different lenders. How do we do that? I'll give you all my information at the end of this video. So without further ado, let's get over to Rick at the CME. How'd the bond markets go, and what in the heck happened at 1 o'clock today, bud?
All right, so why don't we stay in the markets and your money? Because as bonds go, so go stocks. And you may not be paying as close of attention, but bonds, they've had huge move the last few days with a nearly 0.5% move in 10-year yields in just the last 24 hours. And folks, for bonds, that's a massive move. Let's talk more about this and more with Rick Santelli in Chicago. I think I was joking with our team that every time we said the word whipsaw yesterday, somebody had to put $1 in a jar so we could buy some beer later or whatever it is. But yesterday, honestly, the bond yields, they moved around like a stock.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The stock market and interest rates are moving like commodities, like a corn market on a hot day in July. Yes. And I don't see that dissipating anytime soon. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Because today there's some big news on the yield curve. So as you look at 3-year note yields on top of 10-year, and I picked 3-year because we had the first of the auction series, 3s, 10s, and 30s. And the 3-year auction was poor in terms of demand. I gave it a D as in dog in terms of demand. And you could clearly see right at 1 o'clock Eastern how everything changed. As yields were moving down and sort of following stocks that went from green to much less green to red to back to green, we see that 10-year then turned around and started to lead. So a short maturity, most closely tied to the Fed, was leading on rates on the way down. Then the huge reversal in the long end, you could clearly see it there. Open the chart up, and what you really want to look at is we had a key low in September. And since then, once we crossed over 4%, we're holding there. That deficits and tariffs, curve steepening. We're over 50 basis points in 2s to 10s, the steepest it's been in over 3 years. Real quickly, here's the official yuan currency. Right now, the dollar is the strongest in SEP of 23. But if you look at the offshore, which goes back on that chart to 2010, it's the strongest dollar, the weakest yuan ever for offshore. You want to monitor that. They're an export economy. They're getting tariffed. And they have a whole country full of things they need to export. We want to see where they go next. Kelly, back to you.
Absolutely, Rick. Hugely important. We'll keep an eye on it. 740 is the latest level there. Rick, thanks. Rick Santelli.
Did you hear right at the end there? He said China is a huge exporter. So if they're retaliating against us, who's going to buy all their stuff? Who's going to buy it? So that's got to be what the Trump trade is at this point. They're sitting there saying you don't really have that much to negotiate. Your economy's crashing. You're actually pumping stimulus into the economy. Now you won't be able to sell your goods and services. And what's going to happen? So this is a worldwide effect, folks. This is that curveball that I said that might come about and push rates back up to who knows where again. So here's where we go again. So like I said before, I don't think rates are going to go to 7, but this is another curveball that nobody's expecting, not just me. So people are going to bash me down below saying, Dan, say you don't have a clue. Folks, nobody knows what's going on. You can't tell me the bond traders on Wall Street and even stock traders know what's going on. And that's why I'll reference their thing, the whipsaw effect that's going on right now. So here's what they were talking about. Here's the move in what the MBS market did over the last, basically after the last 48 hours. We were up here. And again, what this does is when you're focusing on the bond market, as it goes down, rates are going up. This is huge. It raised rates almost 0.3% over the last 20 to 48 hours. Are they going to go up to 0.5%? This is where, I'll keep saying it out there, folks, and a lot of you missed it again, is pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. If you would have locked in, or at least had your numbers in for us to monitor, there's a lot of videos I sent out last week to people saying, hey, this might be the time to lock in because there's a lot of uncertainty coming. And a lot of people did lock in. Congratulations, but those are out there still monitoring. Reach out to us. We'd love to even get your application going. Tell me, where do you want locked? And if I see that rate get down to there, I'll trigger a lock for you, get you on the phone, get the paperwork started. So that's basically what's going on today. Right through here, it's the Trump trade on tariffs, and that's what's just spooking the entire markets. And there's really nothing else to say about that. And it's just right through here. There's all that. So I'll continue to monitor this behind the scenes. The VIX is spiking again to 52%. For 52, that's huge. So if somebody sneezes down on the floor, the markets are going to overreact. So this is a tenuous market right now. If you like the numbers, lock in. I'm going to continue to monitor because these are big moves. All you need is one little piece of good news, and all this can revert back. So I'm here to help you guys. If you're out there navigating, trying to, maybe buy that first house, maybe you're looking to buy that first investment property, or just figuring out ways to finance properties, or you're looking to refinance and saying, hey, Dan, I know you work with over 30 different lenders. Well, let me get over to what I do for a living. So here's our website. If you want to put in your application, please just click this apply now button right through here. But here's what I do for a living. I do these videos, but that's not what I do for a living. I actually am a mortgage loan officer. I've been doing it for 35 years. I just broke that down because my anniversary is 36 years today. And I got into this business January of the following year. So I've been doing this for 35 years now. I thought it was longer than that, but that's how long I've been doing this. And the cool thing is about what we do is I'm federally licensed. So I work at People's Bank and Trust. And that's the cool part of it. I'm licensed in all 50 states as well as Puerto Rico. If you're out there, I'd love to help. But you might say, Dan, do you have the programs I need? Do you have the rates? You say this 130 thing. So here's what we do. We're a federal bank that's also set up with 33 other lenders. So by applying at our website, you'll work with me, yours truly. I'm going to give you quotes or programs and offerings from my bank and up to 33 other lenders. So where else can you get that? Well, you might be able to do that on your own. If you can do that, God bless you. I'm here to help those that really want our guidance, not only with just finding that best rate. There's a lot of people out there that just don't know how to refinance. They really don't know how to buy a home. Those are the people I would love to work with to help educate them basically and hold their hand from application to keys in their pocket. So, or, application to maybe skipping 1 or 2 months mortgage payments. Love to be able to help. So visit us at therateupdate.com right through here. You can schedule an appointment with me right here. You can put in our application over there. Cool thing is we added 2 sections to the website that hopefully you'll find pretty intriguing. Our Home Buying Guide 101. Check it out. I do videos every day, but some of these I'm going to put on the website. I think it'll be really important. Right now, a lot of people are buying homes, so I think you might check that out. But if you're a homeowner, check out the RateWatch tool, what we have. You're going to watch a little video, and it's going to explain what we do behind the scenes on how we can compare your loan with up to 30 different lenders, how it works, and how you can apply right through there if you're looking for a refinance. If you're looking for anything or you just want to reach out to me, please just put in your application or give us a call. Our phone number and all that information is right up through there. So thanks so much for watching, guys. God bless. I'm going to sign out early today. It's my anniversary. I'm going to go home and have some dinner with my wife and then get back to doing this tomorrow morning. So thanks for watching, folks. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to help me to get to 50,000 subscribers this year. You can hit right over there and help me get there. So thanks for watching. God bless. See you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.